audio mastering secrets. The 4 bands in audio mastering. I talk a lot about, especially in the book, that mastering is an overall process. If you add bass to the song, the whole song gets bass. If you make the song brighter, the whole song is brighter. You can't just make only the vocals brighter or add bass only to the vocals. Either the whole song gets it or nothing. Well, anyway, multi-band processors gives us a little bit more options, a little more flexibility as to where it's not completely the whole song. We can manipulate sections of a song. We can work with sections of a song, pretty much primarily frequency sections. And that's what this video is about, the bands of a multi-band processor. In mastering, I use my harmonic exciter, spectral enhancer, that's multi-band. My compressor, multi-band compressor, that's multi-band. And I use my stereo imaging, which is a stereo Widener, sparingly, but I do use it once in a while. What we like to show you is this different bands that are on the top, these areas. They work independently. Say I go to my compressor, multi-band compressor. Let's say I just want to compress the bass. Well, we can just go to the low band where the bass resides. What if I want to just do the high part, the upper mids, the bright part? We want to cut the brightness. We want to cut the top off. Well, I can compress only this area. This is where it's different. This is how multi-band compressors make mastering different. It's not the song as a whole. I'm compressing just the bright parts, and I can pick how wide I want this frequency range to be. Now, I do have a starting point where I like to start off a project with my bands. The low band, I'll start at 20 hertz to 130. These ranges move. You can put them wherever you want, but this is my initial starting point, 20 to 130. My lower mids, 130 to 1.5K. That's the lower mids. Upper mids, 1.5 to 9.5. And then 9.5 to 20, that's my high end. And that's pretty much where I start. Now, I say where I start because they can be moved around a bit, and they will be moved around depending on how the song sounds, depending on how the frequencies go. Now, I would not move it like this. We're not going to move it this far, but you might move a couple decibels. I'm going to start a song here so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. You can see the wave file moving here. Right in this area is where your vocals are going to be, the higher part of your vocals. Let's say they're just peaking up too high. You can't really see it here because this song is not doing it, but I just wanted to show you a wave file so you could see something. But let's say your vocals are peaking. You can see it coming up here. You could see the vocal popping up, and I want to compress that. Well, if I compress this range, I'm going to just get a part of the vocal. If I compress this, I'm going to get your lower bass, which I don't want to compress. I just want to get this vocal piece, which I could see is right here. So what I'll do is I'll move it over to include the whole vocal piece. I might solo the band, listen, solo this one, solo back and forth these bands, and listen. Now I got the vocal piece that I want included in this. Once I get it, I can just compress this one band. Same thing with this part here. Maybe I'm going to make this whole band louder, and the bass guitar is popping here. I want more of the bass guitar. I might move over to include more bass guitar. Same thing with the high. You're just going to get the tiny part of the cymbals here. Maybe I want the whole cymbal. Maybe the cymbal's too loud. I want the whole cymbal to gain it down. I'm just going to go like this, include the whole cymbal. I'll listen, solo, back and forth. Okay, I have the whole cymbal now. Then I can do what I need to do to make that adjustment that I would like to make. Now I'm going to quickly go through these bands, kind of what's in them, I guess, the purpose of them. First, your low band. This is where your bass boominess is. This is the sub bass rumble is down here. If you have a kick, it's going to be like around here. You'll see it jumping up. Matter of fact, I think on this song you might be able to see your kick jumping right there. I think this is a hip hop song with a sub bass, so you see it like hanging there. I think that's a sub bass hanging there. But this is where if you have a hard kick, you just see it popping up here in this area. Your bass guitar is here, and like I mentioned, you could move it over to include more of that if you would like to do that. Also, this is where you add thickness to a song. You make it boomy, you can make it thicker. Bass punch, of course, is in there also. This area here, your lower mids, this is where warmth is. You make a song warmer. You might gain this up, make this stronger, using your compressor gain so that it just warms up your song. You know, I might use this with classic rock a lot of times. Raise the compression up, take it off, so that I can get this warmth into the song. What resides here? A bass guitar is here. In this part, just about your whole bass guitar is going to be in here. You also get mud in this section. If you have a mud problem, it's going to come here. If you boost this up too loud, you're going to get mud. You don't want to muddy up your upper mids. These two sections are so close. If you jack this section up, you raise the volume, or you don't compress it well enough, it will bleed into this section. If it bleeds into the upper mids, it destroys your clarity. The problem here is that a lot of people don't high and low pass filter their songs very well. So what you'll get is the low part of the vocals, which is right here, and you'll also get the low part of the guitar right here, your upper part of the bass right here, and you just get a collision of all these frequency ranges right here, and it just makes a thick mess. A lot of times I'll lower the volume maybe 1 decibel or compress it a little just to get this mess out of here. That is if the client doesn't high and low pass filter their stuff. I mean, if they high pass the vocals, then, you know, your vocal will end about here, so it's not going to cut through. But a lot of people don't. They just run everything together, and this is a problem area. Sometimes you have to watch out for that if your client does that. Your upper mids, this is your brightness, this is your clarity, this is your presence, this is the high part of the vocal, the high part of the guitar, any synths. This is the middle of like a violin would be in here. This is also the place that would need compression the most, because especially if the person didn't compress the song. A lot of times I'll get a rock song, the compression's great, and you just do minimal compression. But if it's not, this is the area where you're going to burn your ears if you turn the song up real loud. So you want to compress this area. I'll cut the top off. I'll thin the band out. That's pretty much your upper mids. And your high, this is the sparkle, this is the top end, this is the high end of the hi-hat, the high end of the cymbal, a flute. Not too much information is here if you go from the 9.5 to 20, but you know, boosting this a little, getting this right adds a little sparkle to the song. I also like to use a stereo imaging and split stereo widen that top end, puts a little sparkle in the whole song, a little sparkling stereo. One little tip I could give you that makes my song sound a little bit more sparkly than everyone else's. So that is it. That's just the basics of your 4 bands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Later on in the course, I'll talk about using some of the other processors. And then in my step-by-step mastering sessions, I go through step 1 to 20 or whatever it is, exactly how to master a song, so you can really see specifically how I do everything. And that's it. That's the 4 bands used in audio mastering. Get the book, Audio Mastering Secrets, a #1 bestseller on Amazon. There's a lot of graphs and charts in the book, not included in the video. Helps you follow along a little bit better and get your masters sounding the very best they can. If you enjoy this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. This will allow me to create more advanced videos, and I'll have some prize giveaways too.